Squid Game Season 1 turned out to be a tremendous success as the series represented a world where poor people can get the chance of winning an amazing prize only by losing life. It was not about being tough or clever, it was about how desperate people are when their backs are against the wall. The link was deep with the viewers as they could see survival instincts in contestants and how far they were willing to go when really pressed. Also, it brought out the wide gap between where game organizers stayed, mostly in fancy places, and how poor the contestants were. Squid Game is not entertainment, but something that brings out very strongly the tough choices one has to make when fighting for survival. After Season 1, anticipation for Season 2 of Squid Game is at an all-time high, with its release set for December 26, 2024. The first season left viewers stunned by its brutal portrayal of childhood games played for a life-changing prize where losing meant losing your life. Season 2 picks up 3 years after Gi-hun, played by Lee Jung-jae, won the game but chose not to take a new life in America and instead returned to South Korea. Driven by a desire to put an end to these deadly games once and for all, Gi-hun finds himself reluctantly pulled back into the competition. The trailer shows a more hardened and determined Gi-hun, resolute in his quest to uncover the truth behind the games. At the heart of the season's storyline is Gi-hun's confrontation with the enigmatic frontman, played by Lee Jung-jae, with both characters' motivations and pasts still shrouded in mystery. Season 2 will bring the audience to an even greater depth within the mystery of the game and its people orchestrating it. An official synopsis foreshadows a new set of players, all desperate with circumstances. Myung-gi, player 333, Dae-ho, player 388, Jung-seuk, player 246, and many more players will live to die amidst a dizzying 45.6 billion won prize pot. Conflicts and alliances anew are bound to be fueled as the tension and suspense rise with each episode that unravels in the second season. Director Hwang Dong-hyuk, who is returning to direct the series, said that Season 2 will live up to the hype set by the first season. Being nominated for Best Drama Series at the Golden Globes shows that the show has an international reach and how excited everyone is about its return. He said in an interview that the wait will be worth it when he gets into power and control as a theme against an increasingly ruthless challenge. Well, Season 2 of the games is on the way, and much rests in Gi-hun's journey as well as his battles with dark forces behind these games. The teaser trailer hints more at the introverted nature of Gi-hun as he grapples with past decisions, leading to more or less permanent effects from his involvement in this deadly game. This series promises a much more insightful look into the psyche and motivation of Gi-hun for getting involved in the competition this time around, which would most likely bring about a season with him becoming more resolute and determined than the first lighthearted and optimism-infused season. The Squid Game universe is adding some new mystery with the return of familiar players and the introduction of fresh faces. Wee Ha-jun is back as Detective Hwang Jun-ho, determined to find out who's behind the games. We might even see him at the heart of the trailer, revealing hidden powers and secrets. New cast members like Yim Si-won, Kang Ha-neul, and Park Gyu-young are bringing new dynamics and stories to the narrative. Their roles add fresh perspectives to the dark world of Squid Game, giving viewers a deeper look into the game's horrors. Along with all this, the big question, why ordinary people are forced into such brutal circumstances, remains at the show's core. Creator Hwang has hinted that we'll learn more about the creators and the reasons behind their cruelty. The show's production designer, Chae Kyung-sun, promises stunning new settings and challenges that will push participants to their limits, both mentally and physically. As the second season of Squid Game nears, fans are looking forward to more than just the return of familiar faces and deadly games. They're eager for new twists and revelations. The accompanying podcast series will offer deeper insights into the show's themes, creative process, and characters' motivations, making it a must-listen for anyone wanting to dive deeper into the Squid Game world. Hwang and his team have hinted that this isn't the end for Squid Game. Season 3 is already confirmed for 2025. It promises more challenges and a final chapter that will tie up the storylines in a satisfying and thought-provoking way. With all this hype, Squid Game Season 2 will certainly be a thrilling ride as the story unfolds further to offer the fans, both new and old, an opportunity to revisit that deadly world of childhood games and brutal stakes. Now, with the release date so close, audiences await with bated breath the moment when Gi-hun and his fellow players might manage to navigate this world turned increasingly twisted by the geniuses behind the show. But then remains the big question: who will survive, and what is the cost of such survival? Looking at Season 1, the emotional burden is weighty, really putting on display the grimness the show is trying to propagate. Each character exposed some of the harshest aspects of their lives as poverty, family betrayal, and hopelessness are introduced. The protagonist, Seong Gi-hun, needed help in taking care of himself, not to mention his daughter. His journey was a spiraling darkness, forced between life and death and the morose ambiguity of each choice made. The emotional weight of his decision and those around him presented a reflective mirror to these harsh survival realities. Player 001, Oh Il-nam, for example, showed how no one above desperation, irrespective of age and status, had an exception in this aspect. The personal stories are what made the series compelling, deepening the audience's understanding of the lengths people will go to when pushed to the edge. In Season 2, we expect the personal narratives to become more central, which will increase the dark tone of the show and go further in the moral complexity. Squid Game Season 1 was a thought-provoking piece of social commentary, as games were used as mirrors to reflect how society has evolved and increased its cruelty. The games themselves acted as metaphors for the capitalist system, where only the strongest and smartest survive. Each game threw light on a different facet of human nature and society, which depicted greed, betrayal, and the fragility of life. In such twisted and interpreted childhood games, this would be the twisted depiction of a system that eats off the weak. Subtle hints were dropped regarding some kind of international involvement by players from different countries with this game, thereby forming an even larger network that can encompass more than just South Korea. All ended without answers, giving reason for the possibility of having global games. Season 2 will go deeper into these international links, bringing out more layers of the game's origins and purpose. It makes clear that this cruelty is not a matter of the local level, but something global. Season 2 of Squid Game is likely to explore darker societal themes more deeply, especially the exploitation of children and vulnerable populations. The season will cover the desperate world in which such groups are used for making a profit. It hints at scenes with kids that perhaps this season might observe psychological effects on such younger players and how these pull them into the game, all of which speaks about a vulnerability that seems quite a sharp commentary from the perspective of how society looks upon its weakest members. This theme can make the show's dark tone even stronger, transforming it from just a survival game to a global moral reckoning. In Season 2 of Squid Game, oppression through technology might be more deeply explored, a reflection of how much society relies on surveillance and control. In Season 1, the contestants were watched at all times, with every move monitored. This reliance on technology to manipulate and subjugate people was a dominant theme. Season 2 may look into how this technology is used to oppress people. The control mechanisms may be more complex, or surveillance systems might be monitoring every move of the players. Such would give a backdrop to talk about how surveillance technologies in real life might be used in a much broader manner to control society. Squid Game Season 2 will only darken all the right places. Personal stories, social commentary, how cruelty is evoked in the game, and how the technology now uses more complex mechanisms in controlling things will not even help in lessening the show's grimness, and the hints that might involve international players mean more scope in showing how international networks exploit individuals for money-making purposes. With every more horrifying game the show comes up with, themes of desperation, economic disparity, and moral dilemmas will touch new heights. The darker side of technology, surveillance, and control will send a chilling coldness down an entire world that seems suspiciously similar to our own and tests the systems the viewer belongs to. In essence, Squid Game Season 2 will not be just about survival, it will be about facing our society's darkest reflections. What do you think will make Season 2 of Squid Game even darker? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching.